Good morning, good afternoon, good evening wherever you are. The stream is about to start. Grab your favorite drink. Sit back and relax. You're chilling with HexAsians. With your host, Crypto Vince, Uncle Kevin Hex, and Middle Class Working Man.
HexAsians? Nice.
Konnichiwa! Konnichiwa! Emotional damage. Give me sushi!
Namaste. Welcome back to another episode of HexAsians with me, Dheeraj. Uh, I hope a few more people join us in chat. While we are doing that, please, those who are watching on replay, turn the speed to 2x and let me know in the comments what you guys are drinking. Tonight, am drinking, or I was drinking some C2 Freeze uh, melon flavored iced tea because, of course, I love melons, big melons. uh, oh my God. Um, yeah, there are few things we need to discuss today. We'll get to the topic in a little while. I have to stall for more people to join, but still it's okay. While we are doing that, maybe I will present the text chart because oh, uh, doesn't really look that good, does it? Uh, Down 7% on the day. It's still okay. Let's see how we are doing. Just last week, I was telling that the uh, price was looking a bit positive, but I wouldn't be sure about that because I expected a kind of a downturn, but now again the you can see the MACD has crossed over. For how long will it stay crossed under is difficult to tell. We had a similar thing in March. Lasted a few days. We were back up. But let's see. The Bollinger Bands are starting to contact. and the price is very close to the lower Bollinger Band. Uh, so it may be we may see a reversal, but for sure. Or maybe we have some more news coming up that will push it lower. But this is the daily chart. If you look at the weekly chart, it looks slightly better, I would say. Similar. Here, the MACD is still negative, but moving towards the positive. Bullinger bands contracting. The uh, price candles look to have bottomed out. Mm, So that looks a bit more positive. Let's see how things are going next week. In terms of price, we are back to where we were in somewhere in March, about months or 1 month ago or 2 months ago. So really not that bad. Plus, uh, previously when we were at this point of time, like this price kind of formed the like the bottom. So maybe slightly higher, still is slightly higher back in September. But it also means like if you are providing liquidity from this point of time to here up to now, your uh, your impermanent loss is almost zero. I see Ahmed Nabil in chat. Good evening to you, my friend. How how are you doing? How are things in Singapore? Well, yes. So it's not looking that good, but it is still looking better by the day, especially on the long-term charts. In monthly chart, we now have Bollinger Bands, enough data for Bollinger Bands, and very close to some kind of we may have bottomed out. So let's see how things are, because there are stop sharing this because there are a couple of new protocols that are coming up that are expected to help the price of Hex. I don't believe in any of them, but yeah, we will discuss them anyway. Um, but before that, I had a small bit of news to cover. Uh, Let me bring that up in chat. Let's see. Let's see. Uh, 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 I hope you guys are aware of this. Which one should I bring up? Oh, oh, I see Agent 69 joining us in chat. Thank you. A very warm namaste to you as well. I was covering some international news because I didn't see much things being said about it on Twitter, at least in my circle. So couple of days ago, there was an incident in Vancouver, Canada. Uh, According to the Vancouver Sun, the darkest day in our city's history. 11 people killed and many injured at Lapu-Lapu Day in Vancouver. Lapu-Lapu is one of the Filipino freedom fighters fought against the Spanish conquest. And every year there is a celebration for his memory. And somebody, so let me read. A joyous celebration of Filipino culture ended in death and devastation on Saturday after a speeding SUV plowed into the crowd at Lapu-Lapu Day in Vancouver, killing at least 11 people and injuring more. And uh, suspect is a 30-year-old Vancouver man who has been arrested. Kaiji Adam Lowe. Uh, so I know one of, so it was a very sad day for the Filipinos. I am audible and visible. I don't know what. Um, so I'm going to keep my camera turned off. Anyways, I don't have that much of a pretty face that I have to show it every time. um, so yeah, I know there is a community member who moved to Canada recently from the Philippines. I haven't heard from him for a long time, and uh, I refrain from sending the DMs first. So maybe I will do that later. But yeah, my prayers to all of them. And it is, yeah, it is no, even the article I just read, nobody mentions it as a hate crime or an act of uh, terrorism. It's just one bad person who is uh, unhinged, I guess, or mentally unstable. That's how the media is kind of biased, I would say. In other international news, there was another actual terrorist attack last week. We did talk about it. Pakistan, uh, Pakistan sponsored a terrorist attack in India. Well, it is kind of understood for those who know, like, yeah, it is a CIA backed institution that is sponsoring these terrorist attacks. And the tensions in India are kind of high. India almost started a war, but yeah, like I don't think India is going to war. Like it knows its capacity, and it's aware that if it starts a war with, then uh, Pakistan has its backer mainly in the US, as well as China. China has its interest in Pakistan for the Belt and Road Initiative and the gateway to Europe. Mm, and US has its interest because it is kind of a stop to that, and in a way, like India versus Pakistan, it keeps India busy, so it can't actually do any geopolitical, take a geopolitical stand. It's really the other, the, Asian Agenda 69, did India cut off water to Pakistan? Ah, i- uh, from what I have read, like it wasn't like turning off a faucet, but it actually reduced the supply of water from I think it is called the Indus Valley Treaty. Uh, it's the like the biggest river that flows across India and Pakistan, of course. So on Indian side there are dams. I I think it reduced the water supply by 10% or so, which is like more more like diverted its water flow to Indian fields, which were requiring it more right now. I don't condone the act because a 10% supply, yeah, it can be detrimental to agriculture, and it will only cause starvation. Uh, doesn't really help any of the countries. So, uh, yeah, I think they turned from like there was an I think an international lawsuit with which they turned made them turn the water supply back on. Eh, India had also deployed one of its aircraft carrier near the uh, Pakistani shore, but it was uh, from Indian media's perspective, it was a preemptive defensive move, but it has moved back. But in a way, it is kind of like an excuse for India to not be participating in other geopolitical issues like the Ukraine war or the Gaza war, especially the Yemen, what things are happening in Yemen. India can say we are facing problems of our own. We can't get involved in other things. So in a way, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. But with that, like, yeah, there is a resurfacing of Indian hate on Twitter. Like it was already there, like to the extent that people don't even. It has been kind of naturalized. People don't even know like these words are racist words in Indians, and people continue to use them. The word referring to is I was referring to as is jeeps or jeeters, whatever you want to call them. I say, I it's okay. It's understandable. Uh, and anti-India bias is still strong. You know, that's why we have so few, which I am thankful for those whoever do watch. So and if you are watching, hey, don't be an NPC. At least say hi in chat. It will be very helpful for me. But yeah, there I was enough of geopolitics. Just let's get back to what we were the main focus of this channel, which is Hex. We already discussed the Hex chart. I wanted to discuss a couple of new protocols I have seen launched for Hex. Look, I am not going to, I'm not supporting them or asking anybody to invest in them, mainly because so far in the past 5 years, everything that has been built on top of Hex has been a kind of a value drain for Hex. But because it exists, you cannot turn a blind eye to them to it. Maybe I will my kind of what to say intention is to prove that uh, these protocols are not good for Hex. Let's see. Let me present. First one I wanted to cover is something called actuator finance. Your browser has blocked your screen. Click screen icon to address bar. Just a sec. Uh, just a sec. Just a sec. What the hell is happening here? Uh, but do you guys have any other topics to discuss? I would. Yes. The other. Oops. I forgot. I should have shared the invite link in chat earlier. If anybody wants to join, here is the link to join. Uh, uh, Oh, this is actuator dot finance. Uh, I like the logo, but actuator. Uh, what what an ingenious name! Fully backed tokens against your hex stake to unlock liquidity with confidence. How it works: delegate a new or existing hex stake instance to actuator finance. This wraps the stake with a new function and mint hex time tokens. Mint hex time tokens against your hex stake. Hex accrued underlying hex HTTs are ERC20s with basic value since it is backed 1:1 by hex and enforced by protocol. Once HTT have reached redemption day, any HTT holder can redeem them for X 1:1. X Y there is X alignment rewards delayed gratification. But you are able to mint 1:1 hex tokens. How is it delayed gratification? Uh, yeah, you are virtually unlocking your stake. Does it delay gratification? Next time tokens only minted against the earned hex with stake, blah blah blah. Promotes hex staking. Really, that's it. Hex staker can mint HTTs, trade for hex, and use proceeds to create new hex stakes. Increase T-share exposure. Incentives is bigger and longer hex stakes. But that that bigger and longer incentives kind of already baked in, and we have their site already has promotions from some of the well-known quote unquote or ex influencer Corey Gary, Corey Costa, Crypto Snob, Pulse Revision, Nate Mug Get It. I haven't seen any of his videos. Let's see what are people think. The actuator is arguably the most benevolent product built on top of Hex. I hate that term, benevolent. It's just crazy. Reconnect the mic cable, Dr. D. It is chopping. Is my voice still chopping, or I think it is an internet issue. But we'll get hopefully it's better. Actuator has the potential to revolutionize Hex the ecosystem by making staking more flexible and liquid. The project gives Hexicans the best of both worlds, liquidity and long-term rewards. Sound like trying to eat your cake and have it too. So see if I this is how the app looks like. I'm not even going to connect my wallet, empty wallet for that. So basically, you can stake via their protocol and mint. Uh, I think it is called NFT. Uh, no, so you can delegate a stake to this and use that stake to mint HTT tokens of varying value 3,000, 5,000, 7,000. And as you can see right now, all of them running a discount to Hex, which means the amount that is backing them uh, is much more than what the price of the tokens is. Uh, APR accrued total redemption value. Why? As we have seen, so this has been going on for a kind of a long time. One thing, all these protests, we had already seen this with Hedron and perpetuals and pool part stop sharing. Uh, uh, yeah, there is always a liquidity crunch. That means the there isn't enough liquidity to cash out your virtual tokens or hex back tokens, whereas so yeah, there is always these tokens are always running off at a discount and doesn't really help the hex price when your liquidity is kind of fractured. So that means people, instead of buying hex, now have the option of buying the HTTs. If yeah, it theory the increase in the price of those tokens should also increase the price of hex, but in reality we don't see that. Yeah, so that's my thing. Uh, and we have the Silver Sailor joining us. He says, Free Roger over. Yes, that is still happening. I don't know whether he has been extradited to the US. I think not. And yeah, there is kind of a good legal team behind him. Hopefully, he will be set free. I don't expect uh, who's, Donald Trump to give him a pardon, mainly because one, he has uh, given up his US citizenship, which is why he's facing all this what is called lawfare warfare. But yeah, and he hasn't financially supported Trump directly. So I don't think Trump will pardon him, but all the legal issues are on his side. So like he is hopefully he'll be set free. There is a website where you can sign a petition for it. So If you haven't done already, I think it's called freerogerver.net. Help get our Bitcoin Jesus back into promoting crypto. Should be bullish for crypto in general. Uh, the other Yeah, because now we have Silver Sailor with us. Like, how is the silver squeeze going? Uh, I hope, uh, like, there is this thing going on with all precious metals prices going up. You have to realize it's not the precious metal prices going up, it is the dollar that has been quietly falling. And the thing is, the prices of other currencies are falling against the dollar, so it may seem better, but not really. And as far as the silver squeeze narrative is going on, we saw it didn't really happen, mainly because they still have the capability of printing what you call paper silver, uh, and most of those futures and option contracts are kind of paper backed. That means there isn't a compulsion of needing to take physical delivery of the silver. Most of them are settled in dollars, so they can always settle it with fiat money. So silver squeeze may not be happening, and we might also have seen the top for gold. I think 3,500, because now they are saying gold might go to 7,000 and 10,000. Might that when you see this kind of irrational numbers, uh, even though they are not completely irrational, but very high, at like that this thing to happen in a few months is highly unlikely. It kind of a top signal. Mm, and which, by the way, like, we have seen people pivoting back into the stock market. Uh, uh, the best example, like, is that of Tesla. It's back up, I think, around 270 or something. Last I checked, which is really funny because we saw the earnings report, and uh, the earnings weren't really that good. And projected sales are also down, but stock price is up. Make it make sense. The reason for it is simple. We are living in a meme economy. People buy the news. Whereas, um, so overall stock market is booming. Of course, another reason for it was there was talks between Donald Trump and Jay Powell. So we might, even though I doubt it, there isn't going, um, there may be signs of the Fed cutting rates next month. We will see. it is unlikely because we are already seeing inflation going higher, and the trade war is kind of escalating. I see a few videos and posts like the s- what you call supermarkets shelves are empty in the US because uh, the what you call shipments from China has stopped. Just a sec. Just a sec. I have. Oh, I didn't see Ahmad joining us in chat. Ahmad, how
Hey,
are you?
I'm fine. I just reached work, so just resting lah. Yeah.
Uh,
How
Give
how
us an.
how are you, Niraj? I hear you have a very big ranting about the world happenings, and you sound very stressed about it. Mm-mm. Oh,
Like I don't like every day I lose a little bit of hope for humanity, and that's my problem. Like so many atrocities going on, like, and people really I don't see people caring. That's
yeah.
what hurts me more, man. Yeah.
I
Hey,
mean,
I need to take a little break. You go ahead and say your what your feelings are. I will be back in a couple of minutes.
okay. Okay, while waiting for Dheeraj to come back, I will just have a short rant. Yeah, I think it's just that the world has too much hatred. Yeah, everybody has become blinded by hatred so much that they refuse to see, there's a way out, peace and everything. Yeah, especially for the fact that, in some countries where, the hatred runs so deep and it's so ingrained, yeah, and they just refuse to let go of the hatred. Yeah, so cycle continues and continues and continues lah. Mm, yeah, and the worst part is sometimes when people try to find a way for peace and want to stop the hatred, there are other people who wants to keep it going on, either to profit or through their own whatever means going on. Yeah, yeah, because in the end, conflict is war, means weapons, and in the end is money and everything. Yeah, so that is what I need to say lah. Mm.
Uh, you know, when I think about it, like Singapore is like the best example of what the world should be. Like maybe we don't need these giant, huge nations. Every city should be its own state with free market capitalism,
Mm-hmm.
just temporarily. We like the long term goal I would say is to get back to a based economy, but that will take a radical change. But
Yeah,
I,
like I
I
said.
know like Singapore is being like criticized for being like an authoritarian state, but you know, yeah, yeah, I would say it is sometimes a bit necessary to keep everything in check. You know, there has to be some strict actions taken.
True, yeah. I mean, if you also see in some countries like okay, authoritarian state also. Like for example, people say that in countries like the Middle Eastern countries like Saudi, Dubai, we're authoritative, no freedom, can't say this and can't say that and everything. But crime rates are also quite low down there and everything, isn't it? Yeah, in the countries who always say, "Oh, freedom of speech, freedom of that, freedom to do this, freedom to that, everything to freedom." But in the end, yeah, you know, freedom, for example, like France, like they say, oh, freedom to do this, freedom to wear this. But when the, Muslim people, the old ladies try to cover up, oh, that is not freedom, that is oppression. We don't recognize your right for the freedom to wear this one and everything, blah, 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 blah. But I guess it's just my ranting, lah, I would say. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
But anyway, let's
like,
stop talking about some of those negative things around the world. Yeah. I think I think I think the latest thing in the Hex community I just found out is the Go Pulse the Go Pulse, they trying to have a sacrifice or something to create their own token or something. Yeah. Yeah.
yes, I wanted to talk about it. Uh, I know, like, that was kind of the reason for the title of this stream.
I saw it in
May
your I saw it in your Twitter. I saw this in your Twitter actually. Yeah. I saw this in your Twitter. Yeah. And I was also quite wondering what is going on, and people are quite negative towards it. Yeah. And also, by the way, I have to really, if there's one thing I have to reiterate, that I am quite upset about you and angry at you, because at one point in the previous stream you talk about Matty Allen's nose, and when I watch Matty Allen's stream, I keep looking at his nose to see about his nose and everything. So hate you for it, Jiraj, for making me look at Matty Allen's nose for 30 minutes and to see whether it's big or not. Yeah, hate you for it. Yeah.
like now I have to make you even more aware. It's not the just the nose, it is a ratio between the nose and the eyebrows.
Oh yeah, yeah. it's a, whatever. I hate you
No,
for it.
but
Hate you for it. I remember I hate you for it because instead of listening, I keep looking at the nose, and then I don't even know what I'm talking about. I just cut off the stream. I tell myself I'm not watching this thing anymore. I keep looking at the nose. I hate you for it.
oh my god, like look, it's maybe uh, it may have even grown bigger like Pinocchio because of all the lies he tells. But yeah,
All
getting
the
back
lies.
to
Mm. So you mean that every time when he on the stream, and we are live, it means and we are lies. I guess.
I'm and I'm full of lies.
Oh my god.
Yeah, like that is a different story. But what's going on with GoPulse is, yeah, I am not in favor of sacrifices. Like,
Mm.
what is the reason for doing the sacrifice? I don't know. Just launch your token. Like, you, more than that, first launch your protocol, or at least show us what it is on testnet before we can uh, decide whether or not to send money to the protocol.
Mm.
Like, and what has been di- being discussed is, apparently the website has already been kind of sold off to a new uh, individual or team. The original team cashed out, kind of, and because there there was another influencer who was initially contacted for buying the website, uh, whether he wants to buy the
I
website,
I
and
I
he
I saw about it, but I'm not so sure what is it about actually. Yeah, the website buying and everything. Yeah, didn't really look much into it.
yeah, so we don't know who which is the team behind it. I can make some guesses as to who the current team is behind it, but it doesn't really help with the speculation. And uh, apparently there the pitch for selling the Gopal's website was, hey, you can launch a token for it and earn more money. So that I think that is what is happening. Yes, and I was never in favor of Gopal's mainly because it highlighted other tokens more than it did a hex or pulse. Like I still do use it for portfolio tracking, but I have to stop doing that as well. Uh,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, as a
it's,
portfolio tracking is good, but I never use their services for swaps or buying coins now. I didn't. I never use that anyway.
look, uh, like for buying or trading, first of all, for exchange, I directly use PulseX.
Mm-hmm.
I like really like if you are doing normal retail level transactions, I would say up to 200, $300. You really don't need a
Yes.
aggregator. Like
Ah, yes. Okay.
using an aggregator actually increases your gas fee, and some it also like there is a risk of being front
No need.
run.
No need.
And
As the medicines you already don't really need. Mm-mm. Yeah. There's no need anything. Mm.
uh, Ahmed is talking in the background. I will mute him for a while. Don't want to expose his personal life. Uh, but yeah, we don't really need aggregators for doing that. And their on ramp was also like a
Status.
bit. The Goopal's on ramp was also charging extra fees for buying. So I always compare what prices we are getting on while not like buying crypto with cash. And I would my favorite one currently is Pulse LN. It is the most convenient for me. I would like price wise, I think 0x Coast is the second best, but it is not available in our region, at least in my region, so I don't use that. But we
Mm.
also have, I think Richard had posted this website called Gig Finance.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Git finance or something. Yes. Yeah. I haven't tried it yet.
uh, so, uh, whatever. Yeah, but it is also like a website which gives links to other websites. I think it was something called P2P or something, which
Is
which actually,
ZKP2P something? I think something like that.
yeah, CK P2P, something like that. I haven't tried it so far. Right now, I don't have loose cash to buy crypto. That is what I have kind of sad about. But going back to Gopal's, like, yeah, their finance services were very exorbitant. Their fees were kind of fees on top of fees. So that not getting the best deal, I would have. It is kind of convenient if you are like want someone to make an instant buy, even though it's not exactly instant, but like if you are doing something like a conference or a meetup, and you want people to like download one app and just get everyone to buy at the same time, then it might be good. But I think there is another app like Hex Scout, which is good for Hex onboarding. You can
Mhm.
buy using that as well. I think they use Changely, which works. But I will always say just make put in a little bit of effort, tell or educate people how to use a normal crypto wallet. Uh, I would I still prefer using MetaMask. Uh, like out, I would say in the past 2 years I've been using MetaMask for Pulse Chain, and out of maybe 200 transactions, three or four of them failed each time because the gas fee shot up suddenly. I have so all these people crying about failed transactions. It's like I feel it like they were just trying to promote other wallets, but it's okay. Uh,
Mm.
and
Yeah.
now we have another guest joining us. His name is currently Pumpet Hex Hex to be exact. I will add him to stage. He's on mute. So, Mr. Pampet, you can unmute when you want to speak, and let what your spicy take on things. Uh,
Hello.
hello, hello. How are you? Uh, it's Marcavelli 23, uh, as we can see his name on the YouTube chat. How are you? Long time no see. Uh, so, what were we talking about? Yeah, Gopal's sacrifice. It's kind of, it looks like a cash grab, and you know, where there is, when it comes to crypto and securities, like before before everything else, there is always the duck law. If it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's a duck. So if it seems like a cash grab, feels like a cash grab, it is more likely a cash grab. And hey, if you like the tokenomics of this Gopal's thing, we have seen so many sacrifices. Maybe by now you should have learned it is much better to buy the token after the sacrifice. And yeah, like, and the mechanics of the sacrifice is also kind of crazy. Like, not really crazy. I think it is kind of what we had in what you call the adoption amplifier, as well as like there were many ICOs that used a similar mechanism where y- there is a fixed amount of token to be sold, and it would be distributed upon like the percent of your contribution. So if you want more tokens, it is better that not many people sacrifice, and the what you call the volume sacrificed is low, so you get a actually get a larger number of tokens, and then you can sell them down and buy back cheaper. Um, I I'm going to stay away from it, uh, but it's everybody is free to do what they want. Um, eh, eh, both you guys are muted. Uh, I think you have the unmute button. Do you have what would you like to say?
I would like to say, pump it, EHEX.
Yes, pump it, EX. Oh, well, we are. I think I discussed it earlier in the or rather in the last stream. There is a la- layer 2 that is going to be built on Ethereum that would likely that will use EHEX equivalent token, which you can trade 1:1 as its base or gas fee token, which in theory should be very bullish for EHEX, but I I I don't see like people are going to dump that token when it launches, and it might bring the EHEX price down. The other kind of uh, elephant in the room, the bank X sacrifice, or rather the bank X sell order, it still is looming. I think they sold a few, I think around 10 million hex EX last week or so, which is why we saw a price dip. But it's okay. We will again. They are running out of tokens to sell slowly. Doesn't really matter. My uh, yeah, my prediction still is like we are going to see a top in mid-May, 2 weeks from now. Uh, I don't know how accurate that will be, but we will definitely see a dip in May, because that's what usually happens in May. There is this saying called sell in May and go away. We see usually a dip mainly because there is change in weather, like summertime, the uh, oil producing countries start pumping oil prices decrease, along with that other prices decrease as well. So let's
We shall
see.
see,
I
Dheeraj.
think
We shall see. Yeah, I'm still holding on to it that on mid May. So anyway, if it happens, happens. If it doesn't happen, well, we can always wait for the coming months, lah.
if it doesn't happen this mid-May, then of course I'll say uh, next mid-May. But or maybe October, uh, or next or Christmas or whatever. Let's see. Um, but we'll see. By next month we will see what things are happening with the trade war going on. By the way, we also saw Huawei has launched its AI chips in China, so that
Mm,
caused another dip in the Nvidia price. And there, like, I don't understand it. Like, Nvidia chips are still stronger. It's not that Nvidia demand is going to decrease, um, but yeah, yeah, there is a substitute for Nvidia chip, and but now that there is an option, I have a feeling that those Huawei chips are going to be kind of optimized for DeepSeek AI,
mm,
and they the price difference is going to be very big. So I think they are like half or one third the price.
mm,
So you can always like make up for the lack of power from the chip alone by increasing the number of chips. It may not be energy efficient, but I don't think people are caring about energy efficiency in general for AI. There is this whole talk about the XAI what you call data center. I forgot where it is. Uh, Wisconsin, somewhere in Wisconsin, I think it's and it is draining a lot of not only electricity but also water that is required for cooling from the neighboring towns. So uh, yeah, that's a different story.
mm.
And by the,
In,
I I saw this video uh, from a pro China uh, YouTube channel that how is China able to bypass the chips ban because it's like uh, Nvidia isn't allowed to export chips to China. It's very simple. They offshored their databases to data centers to other countries, mainly Singapore and Australia. So eh, the Nvidia chips went to Singapore and Australia, built the data centers there, and the AI companies from China are using those data centers in like so cloud computing, magic of cloud computing.
yeah, that is
So
one way
all
I would say. I mean, I mean, that's one way I would say. I mean, there is also one way that how did China or Huawei get those chips? Yeah, because most of the chips, semiconductors are being made in Taiwan. TSMC, Taiwan Semiconductor Company. Yeah. So like what I said, most likely there are some companies in Singapore that make a deal that we are from Nvidia that they are buying all those those high end GPUs for AI computer cloud computing, right? So they buy a lot of them in bulk, and I think they will send it to other countries like Malaysia or whatever. Then from Malaysia they will ship off to China. Yeah. I heard there's a case like that. Yeah. Yeah, where a Singaporean company
yeah,
buy all. Yeah, so in the end, China managed to reverse engineer the technology and everything. So yep, yeah,
uh, uh, no, actually there is like Huawei has actually kind of have had a breakthrough in EUV technology, that is lithography or what is used for
mm,
using, uh, making those chips. It's not that they have made anything new, but they are trying to make the older technology useful for making modern chips by
mm,
increasing some parameters. It's Yeah, I'm not a expert. Like, there are, if you like, yeah, they are making breakthroughs. So yeah, there is competition, but still, like the TSMC chips and Nvidia chips are going to be stronger. But
True, true.
it, but the thing is, these Chinese chips will make it will be made available for smaller companies who can't afford Nvidia chips. Overall, it's a good thing, I would guess.
Yeah, and I think the chips on China will be much much stronger. As the smaller companies buy the chips from China, and when there's a great demand, and when there's a great demand, China will create new chips better and more efficient and cheaper than Nvidia chips. Yeah, and I think China is able to do it with their current resources, factories, and everything. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, that's it's like,
Hmm. Anyway,
but
to go off topic. I mean, just crossed my mind out of topic. I mean, I think recently in the internet, I heard that the factories in China are telling the world that all the Hermes bag, Chanel, LV bag are all made in China factory and everything, and because of it, the stock market of these companies are dropping down. Yeah, I mean, have you come across any of that? Yeah.
Don't tell that to Richard Hart.
Oh, yeah. Well, if I want to tell the treasure hub, I think his watches and LV bags did they get confiscated or stolen or something? I don't know. Yeah.
yeah, his watches were confiscated by the
Yeah.
police. And here's the thing, yeah, everybody knew like things are made in China, like all these guys. When you put that label like made in China or made in France, there is a caveat like how much of the product has to be actually made in the country to be called made in the country. According to Swiss laws, it's like just 30% of the labor that is of the total labor that goes into making the uh, product needs to be in the Swiss, done in Switzerland to be able to call it a Swiss thing. So most of these Swiss watches, all the mechanisms and machining is actually done in China. Parts are then shipped to Switzerland, and then it's maybe assembly that goes on there, which is why they get labeled as Swiss, and that's how they make these huge profit. Same applies for everything. And I don't know about Singapore, but here in the Philippines, there is a huge market for knockoff products of these fashion brands, and there is kind of categories like there there is called A-grade replicas or factory-made replicas, which are basically made in the same factory as the original one. And y- yes, if you look closely, you can tell which one is kind of the original and which is factory made. But uh, the replica, but it's very some of the products are really difficult to tell. And apparently, a few years ago, they even did a study regarding it. Uh, it was, I think, done by Alibaba or Amazon to see how many like if the products sold on these. web markets are fake, and when like they compared to these fake products to the actual products, some of the fakes were actually better quality than the original product. So yeah, I think like people already knew uh, that these fake or things are made in China, but these are luxury goods. No, uh, the people buy them because of the experience and being like being able to show that they can afford this. Sorry, these things. So nobody really cares.
Mm.
Rant over.
Yeah, but anyway, for me, it's like I still can never really understand why people spend so much money to buy small bags that can't fit anything. Yeah, but maybe I'm just a boomer to understand all these kind of things, or maybe, yeah, whatever. Yeah,
Yeah, me too. But that's the problem. Like people just have too much money at their hand, and when they have too much money, they do like spend on whatever they have, they can. But yeah, anyways, we have reached a 1 hour mark. Uh, I did have another thing to cover. Yeah, there was another hex built on top of hex protocol I wanted to cover. It's not fully out yet again, but uh, because it concerns hex, I want to share it.
is it the Flex protocol?
It's- No, we talked about flex last in
Oh,
the
okay,
last,
okay.
and I earlier talked about actual Twitter finance, similar, but this one is a bit different. So if you guys remember, I talked about this uh, hex1.club, which is a stable coin using hex6 as collateral. This is a upgraded version of it, uh, and uh, it's called Piri Piri. Piri Piri. And it's EVP. So it uses hex6, and depending on the value locked, Piri Piri tokens. It has a lot of other things built on top of it. You can have get earn their incentive token and use that to play track games, what not. It's a bit too complicated. I tried to look through its uh, white paper or or just a description of the protocol. It has so many for me to be happy about it. So, uh, just it's this, but it has what you call protocol fees. Uh, every time I see that, I cringe a bit. Well, let's see when thing comes out. Maybe it will help make add more liquidity to the Pulse X schools, which will be better for everyone. I don't have high hopes for it. The previous protocol, again, X1, which was a stable account, didn't do really well. I actually had the opportunity to talk to the developer of that protocol. Sounds like a genuine guy, but I don't trust him. My He was talking about it, uh, and I had a simple question like, yeah, this your mechanism works well when the hex price is going up. But what happens when the hex price is going down? And it's like, well, to the question, we haven't really thought about it. And I think that was the last time I spoken to about it. If things get going, I will again talk about it in this channel. Right now, I don't want to look. Sacrifices left and right, uh, things being built on top of it. But we had some of the greatest news, but still prices kind of flat, not very happy. Eh,
They need to be doing more airdrops, and so I can dump it for your eHex instead.
I I wish like yeah, what happened to old the good old fashioned airdrops? We haven't seen any airdrops happen for quite some time. Or maybe I have a feeling maybe I am in a bubble that I don't hear about this airdrop. No, there used to be Telegram channels for airdrop hunters, like where people would just uh, at anytime there was an airdrop, people would shill it in the channel.
Mm.
People would do anything to like click random links to get an airdrop. Many of them were scams, but
I mean,
sometimes you did get.
airdrops outdated. I mean, is airdrops outdated because I mean, like last time, like maybe in 3, 4, 5 years ago, right? You always get airdrops from this one, airdrops from here, airdrop. Yeah, I think that's when DeFi start to, there's a surge of DeFi, and all these governance tokens and everything, right? NFTs, they have airdrops. Yeah, but strangely enough, like what you said, I don't see a lot of airdrops so far. Yeah, maybe it's because I
I
don't listen to the news properly, or maybe the time of airdrop is over or something. Yeah.
yeah, I do see some NFT mints being advertised, but it's not the same as an airdrop. Uh,
Mm.
but let's see. Hopefully,
Or
I
maybe that,
am.
or maybe is it because that that for me or for us being in a hex protocol, we are instead of airdrops, we are so now like sacrifice. Maybe it's the in thing for us, sacrifice. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah, sacrifice for this
that could
protocol.
be. Yeah,
Sacrifice.
like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I think it's part of the Expulse chain,
Mm.
the community thing. Like
Mm.
people have learned that these sacrifice phases are more profitable than doing airdrops.
Uh,
So
yeah, and I think if you airdrops are taxable, is it? You have to be is taxable if you're in the US or something. Is it? You can be taxed for
I
getting airdrops. Yeah, and
I
sacrifice is the you are not able to get
Everything's
taxed. I think.
taxable.
Yeah.
yeah yeah it is. I think it is subject to gifting laws. Reward. They are supposed to be uh, uh, considered as rewards, but I think instead of investment, so we I don't know how taxing is in the US, but yeah, people have realized airdrops
You
aren't
get
that profitable.
you get taxed for farting in the U.S.
you know, it's not just you. Even the cows get taxed for farting, and they call it the carbon tax.
Oh.
Soon you will be uh, taxed not only for farting but also for breathing in terms of carbon tax, which is
Your bad breath will get taxed double.
yeah. mm, Yes. Hey guys, we are at the 1 hour mark. Do you want to continue? My social battery is already kind of drained. Hopefully, I will be able to do another live stream next week. By the way, speaking of airdrops, I got airdropped a token, not exactly an airdrop, but somebody gifted me a bunch of tokens. I'm not going to mention it. It's the top anti-Semitic token. If you follow this guy on or have come across this guy on Twitter called what is Peter Stews, he talks about his token. Someone from the community gifted me uh, these tokens. Sadly, they are on Solana. I don't have any Solana to be able to transact with them. I could like have, and I wish I had like sold them immediately
Stu
instead of
Peters.
hold.
Stu Peters is he pretends to not like Jewish people, but he's actually Jewish.
Yeah, like whatever. I like the entertainment anyways, but uh yeah, his token. I I I I wish I had like sold them immediately. Like I could have had double the amount. I could have bought more pulse with it, but it's okay. I will probably hold them to zero. I don't want anything to do with those tokens. It's in a separate wallet anyways, so it
But
doesn't
you
really.
save so much money not having to deal with the pain of dealing with Solana's lame system. You didn't have to actually look into all of it and saved you a bunch of mental space that is otherwise unvaluable.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not. I don't even look at it. No. Yeah. Mix is saying there is a massive amount of incentivizing out there now. Not much on pulse, but the reflection system gives drops. No, incentive system drops, or rather, reflection system drops aren't actually drops. Airdrops is when you get things for free. Not. your money back, which was taxed from you in terms of reflection. But by the way, the main airdrop I'm looking out for is very likely the Doge stimulus checks because there is this possibility they will do it for. Well, we have seen this happen during the COVID crisis. So just print money, give billions of dollars to the wealthy, and maybe a few $100 of stimulus checks to all the rest of the folks to keep them quiet. Uh, and, Another thing, like I did mention, like we, I was hearing there are empty shelves in supermarkets in the US. We have seen that as well during the COVID crisis. And why did it happen? Simply because people were hoarding. Why? To be able to scalp or sell the same things on for a higher price. The does I don't know whether people remember the great toilet paper crisis during COVID. Uh, and by the way, it, it was during that time. I think I was the one who suggested Hexo to get a bidet instead of spending money on toilet paper. Even though I don't have the proof to it for it. Like I wasn't the only one. Like I was the first to mention that. Yeah, if you aren't able to find toilet paper, just use a bidet. And he was like, yeah, that makes sense. And that's how bidet got famous. But you know, even like bidet is like I would say S tier. But if you want to go into T0 or tier 0 category, you should be using Tabo, which is, I don't know. Tabo is the Filipino word, a tumbler. So basically a bucket and a mug of water. Yes.
If you want a god tier, buy a Japanese toilet. That is god tier. Yeah,
I
able to talk and
like
whatever.
whatever.
Just use a water hose.
It's one of my saying one of my favorite. Yeah. Uh, Crypto Profecta. Uh, yeah. I like. Yeah. I stopped following uh, airdrop hunters because there were more likely leading to scam links that drained their people's wallets. Uh, dodged a couple of them, so I am quite okay with that. But currently my favorite airdrop, if you consider it as an airdrop, is the uh, EX token because remember it was kind of free for Bitcoin holders who had to claim it. And if you stake it, you are given an airdrop of EX every single day you are stake. So that's my favorite airdrop, and it will remain
And
for.
Hedron and Calm.
Uh, not. I don't really like those tokens. They have only been a burden on the Hex ecosystem. Haven't like they were supposed to incentivize longer staking, but we haven't seen any of that. Like and on top of that, Hedron is kind of a mechanism to short hex if you think about it. Like, first of all, the Hedron price is kind of linked with hex. So what you borrow Hedron, sell it down, and pay your uh, loan that we have taken, which is like way of shorting Hedron. And when you short Hedron, you also short X. So not my favorite. My favorite is it will always remain EX. You know, even though sometimes I regret it. Like, people say, yeah, you shouldn't marry a token. I am saying, yeah, it's okay. You can marry a token and have your side chicks on the side as well. So that's it. Yeah. Crypto Profecta, I don't know. I haven't seen or followed his channel. I don't know. I don't. Anyways, enough of rambling from mine. I will see. Uh, give you guys the closing statements for the stream, and we'll end with any closing statements, or I will just get into the outro.
Pump at EX.
Ahmed,
Uh, mm, I mean, just be careful of what you. I don't know. I
yeah,
guess you just have to be careful with all the things
yeah.
happening. Be careful and keep your ears and eyes open to the market and to the world events and everything lah. Yeah, and don't get overwhelmed. Yeah,
And I would say, yeah, be careful if you are participating in sacrifices in 2025. I doubt that you are going to make it, or you are not going to make it. So please be careful. That's it from our end. We'll see you guys next week, hopefully on Monday. Bye bye.
yeah.